If you've ever stared at a laptop spec sheet and thought, will this actually handle my gaming nights without breaking the bank or my patience, you're not alone. Most of us want a machine that can fire up the latest titles, keep the fan noise low enough so we can actually hear the game's soundtrack, and still fit into the backpack we carry to work. The fear of splurging on a device that either throttles under pressure or leaves you constantly hunting for a power outlet is real, especially when the price tag is what it is. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Now, the 14-inch Apple 2024 MacBook Pro with the new M4 Pro chip promises exactly that balance: raw power for demanding games, a stunning display that makes every texture pop, and a battery that supposedly lasts all day. But does it really deliver for a gamer who also needs a reliable workhorse? Let's break down what matters when you're trying to choose a gaming-focused laptop and see where this MacBook fits in. First, let's talk heat and fan behavior. The M4 Pro is a 12-core CPU paired with a 16-core GPU, and Apple's engineering team has built a sophisticated thermal architecture that keeps the chassis relatively cool during moderate gaming sessions. In practice, that means you can run titles like Valorant or Fortnite at medium settings for an hour or two and hear only a faint whirring, something many Windows-based laptops can't promise without turning the fan into a small jet engine. When you push it further, say playing Elden Ring at 1080p with higher graphics, the fan does ramp up, but it remains audible rather than obnoxious. The heat on the palm rest is manageable, although the bottom of the laptop can get warm after prolonged sessions. If you're planning marathon gaming marathons in a small room, you'll want to keep an external cooling pad handy, but for most gamers who balance play with work, the thermal performance feels well tuned. Keyboard feel is another hidden factor that can make or break a gaming experience. Apple's Magic Keyboard uses a scissor mechanism with 1mm travel, offering a crisp, responsive click that feels almost like a high-end mechanical key. For fast-paced shooters or MMOs that demand rapid keystrokes, this keyboard is surprisingly comfortable. The downside is the lack of customizable RGB lighting. You won't get those neon wave effects that some gamers love, but you'll get consistent backlighting that's bright enough for late-night sessions. The built-in touch bar was removed in this model, so you get a full row of function keys instead, which many gamers appreciate for quick access to inventory shortcuts. Battery life gets a lot of buzz with every new MacBook iteration, and the 14-inch Pro claims all-day endurance even under demanding workloads. Real-world testing shows that if you mix a few gaming rounds with typical productivity tasks, email, browsing, coding, you can comfortably stretch close to 8 hours before you need to plug back in. Pure gaming, however, drains the battery faster. A continuous 2-hour session at higher graphics settings will knock the charge down to roughly 50%. That's still respectable compared to many Windows gaming laptops that often dip below 20% after an hour of intensive play. If you intend to game on the go without access to power, the battery is decent but not a miracle. Plan to carry a charger or a power bank for extended trips. Portability is where the MacBook truly shines. At just under £3 and a thin 0.61-inch profile, it slides into a standard backpack without feeling like you're lugging a brick. The 14.2-inch liquid Retina XDR display delivers up to 1,000 nits of peak brightness, P3 wide color gamut, and deep blacks that make dark game environments look genuinely immersive. The high refresh rate of the panel, up to 120 Hz, translates into smoother motion, though you'll need to enable it manually in macOS settings for each game. By contrast, many gaming laptops that push higher refresh rates often sacrifice color accuracy, so if you also edit video or do graphic design, the MacBook offers a dual-purpose display that's hard to beat. Now, let's address the elephant in the room: price. A fully spec'd 14-inch MacBook Pro with M4 Pro, 24GB unified memory, and a 512GB SSD typically sits well above $2,500. For a pure gaming machine, you could put that money toward a desktop GPU upgrade or a Windows laptop with a dedicated RTX 4070. However, the MacBook brings more than raw graphics power. The unified memory architecture means the CPU and GPU share the same high-speed pool, reducing latency for tasks like game streaming or running virtual machines. If you're a content creator who streams on Twitch, edits video after a session, or needs to run a local development environment alongside your games, the extra cost starts to make sense. On the other hand, if you only game and never touch professional software, you might find better value in a more traditional gaming rig. Who should buy this? If you're already deep into the Apple ecosystem, using an iPhone, iPad, or Apple Watch, the seamless continuity features, like AirDrop, Handoff, and Universal Control, can speed up your workflow dramatically.